Personal story segment tonight, a House vote to impeach President Bush was tabled this afternoon. They sent it to committee, which means the majority of Congress people don't want to deal with it. Joining us now from D.C. is the sponsor of the controversial legislation, Congressman Dennis Kucinich.
Bill, by the way, it was referred to committee. It wasn't tabled.
All right, but you know what that is. Come on. We all know that is, look, we don't want to deal with this. Let's throw it in there and it'll die.
I made the motion for it to go to committee.
Okay. But it's not going anywhere. And people on my radio program are saying, why is a smart guy like Dennis Kucinich wasting everybody's time, taxpayers' money, on this nonsense? Not going to happen. When we got out-of-control gas prices, we got Iran saber-rattling like crazy. Let's concentrate on the things that really matter, and I have no answer for that. Do you?
Yes, I do. First of all, I've been involved in doing something about oil prices by being the sponsor of a bill for windfall profits tax that would stop the oil companies in their tracks. Furthermore, I'm the co-sponsor of a bill so that every American would have decent health care. I've been working on an alternative energy approach which would create millions of jobs in creating solar and wind energy microtechnologies. I mean, I'm involved in all that, but, you know, there's also over 150,000 of our young men and women who are in Iraq putting their lives on the line, and there's been plenty of information brought forward, Bill, that would suggest that the cause of the war was based on misleading statements.
I don't know. I read McClellan's book, and he didn't have any hard facts in there. But look, we look like
Did you read Rockefeller's report?
I did. I skimmed it. I didn't read the whole thing. I don't think any human being on earth has read the whole thing, including you.
Let me tell you what he... Can I quote from it?
It doesn't really matter. We're winning the war in Iraq right now, and perhaps that'll help the United States. But let's get back to your...
Maybe it won't. Maybe it won't help us to stay in Iraq.
And maybe it will, because we got Iran to deal with. But look,
Bill, what if we're there on a lie? How would you feel about that? If you knew for sure.
If you can prove, if anybody can prove that there's a lie, then you got to bring in Bill Clinton and Tony Blair and Hillary Clinton and Al Gore and John Kerry. You got to bring them all in because they all were on board in the beginning. You got to bring them all in.
We put President Clinton through an impeachment for a consensual sex act that he lied about.
Perjury rap, and
that's right. He lied. We all understand that. But you know what? This is a totally different magnitude.
All right. Can I get on to really what I want to talk about here? I think this is nonsense, and I think you shouldn't waste your time on it. But I do applaud you for trying to get something done about the oil gouge, which is killing everybody. But the windfall profits tax has two downsides to it. Number one, they would pass the cost of anything extra they have to pay to the government onto the consumer, and you couldn't stop them. And number two, they could say, hey, all right, you don't want us to make this kind of money? We're not going to drill anywhere. We're not going to look for anything, and blank you. So that's the downside, and how do you answer that?
Well, you answer it this way, in that the tax is structured in such a way as that would be a tax not at the pump, but on profits. And it'd be 100% tax, and the money would go into a fund that would give the American people tax credits for the purchase of ultra-efficient American-made cars that would help to prime the pump of the economy. There's another element of this, too. As the chairman of the Domestic Policy Subcommittee, I've been looking into the role of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission.
I'm with you on that. Go get them.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's great. Well, look, you know what they're doing? They're actually standing back while all the speculation is going. Has nothing to do with supply and demand.
Absolutely
driving the price of oil.
Get them. Congressman,
you know what? I didn't know that we were together on something.
You ought to take all of your time, knock off the dopey partisan impeachment stuff.
Listen,
it's ridiculous.
You want me to tell you how they're...
Get those bad guys.
You want me to tell you how they're connected? One of the articles of impeachment has to do with the secret meetings that Vice President Cheney held with the oil companies. I mean, we cannot forget that this administration is tied very closely to the oil industry, which is why nothing's been done out of Washington to try to block the oil companies. If you get your
smoking gun, then I can take it seriously because somebody meets with somebody. That's not an impeachable offense.
You can't even get documents from the meetings. This is one of the problems. So I think that
if you can't get them, you don't have it. You know, that's what I'm telling you.
Congress's role is to be able to, as a co-equal branch of government, compel the production of papers so we can find out what's going on with the people's house.
All right. Well, if you want to apply that to Bush, you got to apply it to Clinton because both of them stonewall Congress.
Can I tell you something? You're talking to one of the few Democrats who actually thought there was a reason to go forward with an investigation. Just remember that about me. This isn't, to me, isn't a partisan thing.
All right. But you're wasting your time on the impeachment thing, and it's not going to happen. But I'll tell you why, Congressman.
If we're together on the Commodity Futures Trading Commission
SOBs taken down. All right?
You know what?
If you can get them, get them.
let's work together to save the American consumer at the pump.
Absolutely, I'm with you on that.
Bill O'Reilly and Kucinich, together at last.
That's right. We need flex fuel vehicles. Go for the flex fuel. That's the key to this thing. Congressman, thanks very much. We appreciate it.